Hi, and welcome to my first unboxing and review video based on horror memorabilia. I've already unboxed and reviewed the All Elite crate, but that wasn't much of a review as it was just showing off what was in the box, but this is a video where I want to give as much of an in-depth review as I can about some of my favorite horror collectibles, and, well, not even necessarily my favorite, just random ones that I pick up. And now, I've had this in the box for about 2 years. I got it for Christmas from a close friend of mine, and so today, as much as it kills me to do it, to take it out of the box, I will be reviewing the Neca figure of Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. So, let's get into it. Okay, so starting off, here's the box that it comes in. It's the poster of the first movie, which I think is already awesome. Like, as soon as I unwrapped this on Christmas a couple years ago, I immediately recognized what movie this was. We're looking at the side, it says Ultimate Freddy right up here. We got Nightmare on Elm Street, NECA Real Toys at the trademark at the bottom. Same thing on the other side. Now on the back, we've got a couple pictures of the figure, and there's a little bit of reading here. It says Nancy is having grisly nightmares. Something monstrous wants to kill her. Meanwhile, her high school friends, who are having the very same dream, are being slaughtered in their sleep by a hideous fiend of their shared nightmare. When the police ignore their explanation, she must confront the killer in his shadowy realm. Okay, sounds pretty cool. Basically the plot of the first movie, straight up. Alright, so let's go ahead and look inside. It's got this little flap you open up. There's a picture of the figure right here. And here's the figure itself. If I can get that glare out of the way, ignore the reflection. But looking at what we got here, it looks like we got some nice accessories in here. And, you know what? I don't want to take it out of the box because I've been keeping this on the shelf for a couple years now. But for the video's sake, let's do it. Okay, so now I got him out of the box, and here's a close-up look at him, if I can get my phone to focus. There we go. Now, right off the jump, I'm realizing that I love how detailed his face is here. I mean, this is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, so Freddy was a lot more serious tone. So, I mean, he's got the really angry expression, kind of the expression of determination, like he's ready to go on a killing spree. Looks like we got some pretty good movement in the arms, as I'm saying that. He cannot move. There we go. Movement in the arms are a little stiff, but I'm assuming that's just because it just came out of the box. I am probably loosen up over time. I can probably sit down and get better lighting. There we go. I'm new to this, so I don't really know what I'm doing. Sweater print, pretty nice all the way around. Loved all the wrinkles in the clothing. I mean, I love really good figures. Now, also, there's one little gripe I have. Not about this figure, but, like, I believe this is a McFarlane Freddy, but it's more like a statue. Like, yeah, you can pose his arms a little bit and twist his head, but that's all you can do. So, I mean, even though it is a really good design of a figure slash statue, I mean, it just seems kind of pointless, the fact he just stands there. When we get something like this, who can actually, like, move around and you can pose however you want, and I know this lighting is crap, I'm sorry. If I can get this shit to focus, there we go. Now, what else do we got? Not really much to talk about in like the legs or boot design. He's just wearing his trademark black pants and work boots. But got his glove on his hand. Pretty much full articulation though. There's a little bit of play in his hand, so you can kind of twist this, pose his arms however you want. Full head movement. Looks like it's on a ball joint, so you can kind of like, instead of just moving left or right, you can move up and down a little bit. Which a lot of AEW figures have been doing, which I really appreciate in figures. Now, I am a child, so I like when stuff moves and you can actually kind of play around with it and pose it however you want. But there's your close-up of the figure. I'll do a final shot at the end, but let's get into the accessories he comes with. Okay, now I got him standing over here. Ignore this dirty-ass desk right here, but first thing, we got to have the trademark hat, because Freddy's not Freddy without his hat. But I do like how it's removable, so just a little something. Like, some people might want them without it, some people want them with it. Your call. See, in my opinion, toys are meant to be played with, no matter how old you are. Like, yeah, you can go out and get something like the McFarlane one, which, like I said, is a pretty cool design, but it's just a statue. And I think when you get something like this, way overpriced. Like a lot of Spawn figures. Spawn's my favorite superhero. I collect figures for him, but a lot of them are just statues, and you can pay upwards from $50 to over $100 for something that doesn't move at all. So when I get something like Neca to make these really detailed figures, and I'm able to actually like pose him how I want to, and he's not stuck in just one spot, I really like that. So, and also having removable parts such as the hat, that is awesome. Next up, we got this little skull face that he has, spoiler alert, towards the end of the movie, I believe. Or was it? I believe it was towards the end. And also, we've got, I forgot her name, but I'm assuming this goes on here. Yeah, whenever Freddy comes to Nancy's door and has the face of her friend, I can't remember her name, but you can see a picture of the scene. I'm going to throw it up here. But also, pretty creepy. Looks like it's inspired by Leatherface, which Texas Chainsaw came out, I believe, 10 years before this did. So, I mean, the idea of wearing someone else's face is awesome. I've already talked about this movie and Texas Chainsaw in 30 Days of Fright. Go back and watch that if you're interested. This I seen right here. I seen this in the box, and I didn't recognize what it was at first, but then I got a close-up look. And is it blurry? But it's when we first see Freddy up close. Like, we see him in the shadows up until about the halfway point of the movie. And he says, "This is God," and chops his own fingers off. So that's what this is. So it's like some necroplasm stuff shooting out. And he's missing 2 fingers and does not react to it. And then we've got... I will definitely probably be switching to this head because I love the goofy side of Freddy. So seeing him smile just makes it that much cooler to me. But, so that's all he says. Oh, no, there's one more. Towards the end of the movie, whenever Nancy gets on the phone to call her boyfriend, we see the scene of Freddy's tongue on the phone. He says, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy," and he starts licking through the phone. So, I mean, there's some pretty cool accessories with this stuff. I mean, I'm not really qualified to review stuff like this, but, I mean, I'm easy to please. So just give me some cool stuff to go along with it. And why is my camera being so dumb? But, oh yeah, pretty cool. So, I'm gonna share some final thoughts. I'm gonna pose them up and do some final shots and say some last words. And this has been the Neca Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, Freddy Krueger. Okay, so here he is all posed up. I got him, I put the smiling Freddy face on him and gave him the chopped off fingers. Now, one thing I noticed as I was trying to pose them, the feet, you can't really like angle the feet, maybe a tiny bit. Like you can bend the knee really well, but the feet do twist, but they don't go up and down. So posing them could be difficult. But overall, I actually really enjoy this figure. Like I said, I mean, toys are meant to be played with, and like, no matter who you are, like you can be an adult collector, like I am, a man-child, but I'm gonna keep comparing it to the McFarlane over here, who this is all he does. He just stands there. But this one's posable, and honestly, like I love McFarlane's work, but this one's like creepier, I guess. But I mean, I don't really have anything bad I could say about it. Like if you just want a statue, but for statues, in my opinion, they are definitely overpriced. When you could pay, I believe these, like, NECA figures go for about, what, like $30, $40 maybe? But, and there's just so much more potential with them, and they come with more accessories that I've got lined up down here. So, but this has been my first review, and honestly, I had a lot of fun with this. Now, I do have more figures that I'm going to review. This is just going to be a grab bag of just random stuff that I feel like unboxing, whether it be Freddy figures, which I've got a bunch of those that I need to unbox. Also, that will make a lot more shelf room, so I probably should have done this sooner, but I do want to review the NECA Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw 40th anniversary, but I don't have that in my possession yet. But as soon as I get that, that's going to be an immediate video that goes out. But yeah, NECA Freddy, awesome figure. Movement is a little stiff, but I feel like that'll loosen over time. But honestly, like, I'm going to pose him and just sit him on the shelf and then never touch him again. I mean, I know what I was saying about statues, like they don't move, but this one, I get the joys of posing how I want to pose them. and just set them on the shelf and maybe bring them out for a later video and knock this head over. But oh yeah, Neca Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 1. Awesome figure. Can't wait to do more reviews. Thanks for all for watching, and as always, rock on.